Here's an apologist sharing some of his personal struggles with doubt.
Doubt's not a Christian problem, it's a human problem. And in the absence of certainty, there will always be room for doubt. The question is which worldview best closes the doubt gap. And I'm overwhelmed with the fact that I can't come to all the conclusions that I want on God. And I started just thinking, like, if I was to walk away from Christianity, I would just inherit another set of unforeseen questions eventually that will become my doubts. And so what I'm struggling with is my finitude. What I'm struggling with is my mortality. What I'm struggling with is my limitations. What I'm struggling with is my weaknesses. And I can study and study and do all this I want. But at the end of the day, no worldview is going to give me omniscience and certainty. And so the thing that looked most appealing, it certainly wasn't atheism to me. It was agnosticism, because I felt like I could sit in critics' corner and just be like, you can't know, you can't know, you can't know. And I had to come to a conclusion with, okay, why not be an agnostic then? And I came to the place where I said, well, you know what? Even the agnostic is certain about one thing. He's certain there is an explanation. He just doesn't know it. So what would you rather do, Bobby? Would you rather give yourself to the best explanation, or just sit in critics' corner and say you can never know what that explanation is? Because that person believes there's an explanation, they just remain skeptical. And I just, like a child, said, I'm going to give myself to the best explanation. It's Christianity. It's the resurrection. It's you.
This is actually way more authentic and vulnerable than a lot of believers are willing to be. So I actually appreciate that. It seems like he might have been close to actually deconverting. And for him, agnosticism was a live option, even when atheism wasn't. It's good for both believers and skeptics to reflect on this. There seems to be this binary attitude among some religious people that either Christianity is true or God doesn't exist. Either Jesus is Lord or they have to be an atheist. No. If you're a Christian watching this and are doubting your faith, you have options. You could leave Christianity and still be a theist. You could walk away and consider yourself an agnostic. And of course, we do have cookies over in the atheist camp. Don't let binary thinking keep you in a belief system longer than you need to be. What I want to focus on here, though, are his problems with agnosticism. For him, agnosticism seems like sitting on the fence and throwing grenades at both sides, and claiming, no one can know whether God exists. This needn't be the case, though. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy gives the psychological sense of the term. An agnostic is a person who has entertained the proposition that there is a God, but believes neither that it is true nor that it is false. This doesn't entail claiming that no one can know, it's just an answer of, I don't know, to the God question. Behind certain people's problems with agnosticism seems to be the idea that there is something wrong with suspending judgment on a question like God's existence. But why think that? As Paul Draper explains, quote, we frequently find ourselves unable to make an overall judgment about the probability of a hypothesis because we are unable to determine whether the clear evidence for it is stronger than the clear evidence against it. This may occur when trying to decide whether a suspect is guilty of a crime, or when wondering who will win a football game, especially early in the season. In such circumstances, one must suspend judgment, not because one lacks clear evidence, nor because one believes the evidence on each side is perfectly balanced. Rather, one must suspend judgment because it is not clear which side, if any, is supported by the stronger evidence. End quote. Now, if Bobby truly thinks that Christianity is the best explanation for some set of data, then of course he shouldn't be an agnostic. But if, after considering all of the evidence, one finds themselves suspending judgment, well, there's nothing wrong with that. And obviously, I think it's questionable to suggest that Christianity is the best explanation for reality. In fact, it actually has a surprising weakness. Tap on this video next to me to see what I mean.